Hey there, welcome to Live Happily Ever Now. I am your host, Carrie Briggs. If you found this podcast, that is no accident. It means that you're ready to feel good, heal your life, and manifest the life of your dreams. I can't wait. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Live Happily Ever Now. I am your host, Carrie Briggs. Oh, it has been a hot minute, I feel like, since I've recorded a podcast with just me. I love my guests so very much. And it's been a minute, and I'm excited to be here and talk. I feel like my world has completely and utterly changed since the last time I've done a podcast just with myself. My entire life kind of flipped upside down, and we're just like processing it and taking it day by day. What I really wanted to talk to you guys today about is my true love, the thing that has saved me. And I've had many episodes about this, but there's a reason I talk about it so much. And it is because without this, I would not be where I am today. I would not be the human I am. I would not be the healer I am. I would not be the mother I am, the wife I am, the friend I am, if it wasn't for this. And I would have not been able to find myself if I did not have this tool. And if you have not guessed it yet, yes, it is Reiki. And yes, I talk about it all the time, but it's because I'm highly passionate about it. So for those of you who do not know, maybe you're new to my channel, maybe this is the first episode you're ever listening to, Reiki saved my life. First and foremost, it's the best way I can say it. Reiki saved my life. My entire life, I could feel things and I knew things, and just like I was highly intuitive and I felt things in my body. I felt things. I knew when things were going to happen. Like I could feel it physically in my body. And I always thought I was crazy. And I didn't know how to manage it. And I would get like, when I'd walk into a room, I could feel everybody's energy. And I didn't like going to parties. I never really partied anyway, but because I didn't like it, I hated going to the grocery store. I hated walking into somewhere new because I could feel everyone's energy. And I didn't know this was a thing. I thought I was just crazy and had massive anxiety and all the things. Long story short, when I learned that Reiki helped me manage those things, anyway, bouncing all over the place. So a couple years ago, I say, like, I don't know, this is a long time ago. I want to say 8 years ago. I think it was 8 years ago. Somebody told me, they're like, hey, you should go get Reiki. And I'm like, I have no idea what the fuck that is. So she's like, I just went to this place. Here it is. Here's the address. You should go. You're going up there anyway. I'm like, fine, whatever. What's it gonna hurt? So I dragged everybody, all the kids and the family, and we were heading up there anyway. So my husband sat in the car while I had my very first Reiki session. And I remember being there, and the person who had the Reiki session, she was like, that convinced me to go. She's like, I feel amazing. I feel so light. I am like high on life. I'm so much energy, blah, 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 blah. So I'm like, oh, awesome. This is great. I have 3 kids. I'm exhausted all the time, burnt and newborn, like all the things. So I had this Reiki, and I did not have that experience. And for those of you who are like, Karen, you're supposed to be selling us on Reiki. So let me continue on this story. And I don't think I've ever actually told anybody this. This may be a new part of the story that people do not know. So I had this very first Reiki session. And again, this is somebody who I was never allowed to feel my emotions. I was never allowed to be myself. I was never allowed to process my emotions. I never cried. I was never angry. I was frozen. I lived in a catatonic state of fight or flight or freeze in my nervous system. So I never had felt emotions. So I had this Reiki session, and I'm like feeling all the things and seeing all the colors. And I'm like, she's not even touching me. What the fuck is happening? Kind of freaked out, like super, actually, like not even kind of, like a lot of it freaked out. And again, I knew nothing. I knew nothing about Reiki. I knew nothing about energy work before going into this session. Absolutely nothing. I went in there completely blind, but I'm like, sure, why not? Let's just do some random thing. I'm going to pay some lady and we're just going to do this thing. But I was open to it. I was open to the things. So anyway, I had this Reiki session, and I remember I vividly remember seeing an eagle in one of my chakras, but every time she was over one of my chakras, like I got an intense head rush. I saw all these colors, and like I literally saw parts of myself unlocking. So when she's done, I was really sad. I was really, really sad. And I was like, and then I was bummed. I'm like, so-and-so had like an amazing experience, and she felt all these things, and she felt amazing, and she was like glowing and happy and super high energy. And I was sad and depressed. And I was like that for like a week. And, this woman, I saw her in that 60-minute period, never saw her again, never communicated to her again, anything. Actually, I remember texting her later in the day, and I'm like, hey, I really don't feel okay. Like I'm really, really emotional. And she didn't say anything back. So I was just kind of like left there by myself, feeling these things. And I was really fucking scared. Not a fan of Reiki in this moment. And I wasn't, I really like, I'm not trying to like not sell you guys on Reiki. I want you to listen, continue to listen to the story so you understand where I'm going with the whole, my first experience with Reiki. So it took me like a week. And again, this is in the very beginning of my healing journey. I did nothing. I didn't know you were supposed to process emotions. I didn't know there was such thing as fight, flight, or freeze. I didn't know that there was like not crying meant that I was very, very traumatized and I didn't know how to, anyway, all the things. So I did that. And then I remember being really, really upset for like a week and like crying a lot and moving through a lot of things. Again, I know now this is exactly what was supposed to happen because I had never experienced an energy work at that level and I had so much stored trauma in my body. Back then, new Carrie had no idea what the fuck was happening. Anyway, so I kind of let it slide. And I'm like, everybody's like, how was it? How was it? I'm like, it was cool. Saw a lot of things. Felt a lot of things. And they're like, oh my God, that's amazing. Like you felt stuff, you're for Reiki, you saw stuff. Like when somebody's doing Reiki on you. And I'm like, yeah, doesn't everybody? They're like, no, they don't. So I'm like, okay, thinking about that thing. Anyway, so continue. I remember this was like back in the beginning of the year. And then at the end of the year, somebody's like, why don't you go learn Reiki? And I'm like, okay, sure. Why not? Let's just add things more to the plate. I was already running a boutique and running somebody else's business for free. And that's a whole other story. Anyway, so I go learn Reiki. And I'm like, oh my God, what is this stuff? And I learned it online the first time. I found somebody. And again, I actually ended up taking 2 courses from 2 different people because I didn't like the first person and I kind of did the second person. And I did it. I took my entire Reiki course. I became a master teacher in like 6 months. And then I was like left to the side. I had no idea what the fuck to do. I'm just like, wait, I'm just like certified to go like practice on people, like really fucking confused, had no idea. So I did not touch it. I let that little thingy sit there. I had my certificate. Didn't do Reiki on anybody. I like kind of pretended to do it on myself a little bit and like a little bit on the dogs, but I didn't have any faith because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I just like took this online course, like pre-recorded course, not pre-recorded, like it was literally just like a slideshow, and they're like, oh, here's your certificate. So I'm like, do not feel safe, do not feel confident, I do not feel anything. So I let it sit there, did not touch Reiki again. And I didn't do anything with it. But a part of me knew that there was something there, but I knew that I wasn't allowed to touch it yet. I couldn't go back in yet. I could not do the thing. So then fast forward, I don't know, a couple of years after that. I don't remember the years because time is time and I've lived 1,000 lifetimes since 2020. But I think it was the beginning of 2020. And the same friend who introduced me the first time, she's like, hey, I met this woman. She teaches Reiki. You need to go take Reiki with her. I'm like, no, I'm cool. I already got 2 Reiki certificates. Haven't even touched them. Not going to do anything with them. It's fine. Awesome. She's like, Carrie, go talk to her and go take Reiki with her. And I'm like, this is beginning of my healing journey. Again, I mean, not beginning, I was like in the be like, I was like leaving out of the affirmation, fun little rainbows and unicorns. And oh my God, if I add it, I can like manifest anything stage. I was like moving into the actual healing part of my stage. And again, obviously I knew that I was in this part of my healing, that everything happens for a reason. This woman reaching out to me again, she's like, hey, go talk to this person. I needed to listen. The investment was way more than I ever planned on because again, I had a boutique, I had kids, I was not making money. I'm like, why am I going to invest in Reiki? I'm not a healer. Like I like teach self-love. Like this is where my mindset was. So I remember sitting in the hot tub and I asked my husband, I said, hey, so I think I'm going to go learn Reiki again. He's like, why? You have 2 certificates you don't even use. And I'm like, I'm going to go do it. Something is telling me I have to do this. And I was scared shitless. Cause again, this was like a lot of money. It was like for one class was 3 times as much than I paid for my 2 previous classes. And I'm like, for some reason I'm being called. I'm being called to work with this woman. I'm being called to go do this thing. So I don't remember what date it was, but I remember messaging her and having an amazing conversation. And I ended up signing up for Holy Fire 3 Reiki, level 1. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck this is. So I get in this class with this woman who some of you may know who she is by now because she is an integral part of my life and I cannot live without her. But I ended up taking this class with her, and in this Reiki class, my entire fucking world shifted. I I saw things I didn't know were possible. I saw a part of myself I never knew. And then like I can go through my entire journey, but learning Holy Fire 3, so I'm certified in Usui, Ryoho, I'm certified in Usui, and I'm certified in Holy Fire 3 and 5 element Dragon Fire Reiki. I'm a teacher in all of them. Anyway, so this is the Holy Fire level. And I'm like, this is Reiki? Like I'm like in deep meditation and healing myself and seeing extremely vivid things. And I'm seeing my past self, my future self, my highest self. I'm seeing my business. I'm seeing everything. I'm getting business downloads. I'm getting like, you know, I met my, like, I can't even tell you. And after that first class, I'm like, what the fuck is this? And why have I never experienced it before? So I became hooked instantly because I learned it from a different completely from my these classes were taught live. Like Holy Fire was taught live with an amazing instructor. We were in Zoom classes. I had another partner with me and we went through all the levels. And I craved this class. And after that first class, I had a 21-day detox because again, I didn't know, again, going back to that first Reiki session I ever had, I had the like emotional, I was super duper emotional because I had never experienced it before. So I'm in this like Reiki class now and I had a 21-day detox, like a physical fucking detox of my body. I'm talking physical detox of all the things that I had been holding on to and not processing. So then I went through a year of Holy Fire. I think it was like about a year. Maybe it was like 6 months. Maybe it was 6 months. So I did all the classes, Holy Fire 1, level 1, 2, 3, and then master teacher. And I will be forever grateful for that because in those classes, I had the most profound meditation experiences because when you're doing an activation, you're in like a meditative experience. Met my higher self, connected to my inner child, healed my business, healed myself, healed my relationship with like all of the things. And that in those moments, I knew Reiki was for me. I knew Reiki was what I was doing. And then I started practicing on people. And I was scared at first. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Again, this is during COVID, really. So in person was not an option. So I started doing Reiki distance Reiki. And that's actually what I primarily focus on. And anybody who does Reiki with me knows that I am primarily distance Reiki. It works the same. You do not have to be in the same place. Energy is energy. We are all energetic beings and it can be all the things, all the places. So I started getting quite a little following from doing Reiki on people. Fast forward again until like 2021. Is 21? How long have I been teaching Dragonfire? That was 23, 20. I want to say it's 22. Maybe it's 22. Anyway, this teacher, who, if you have not figured it out now, is Erin Ryan. She is my other half. She is I cannot live without her. She is my mentor, my coach, the creator of 5 element Dragonfire Reiki. Anyway, so in 2020, whatever it was, she was like, we're just gonna do like there's a 6/6 dragon activation, meridian activation. And we didn't know what it was. So I'm like, I'm just gonna do this class. No idea what these are, no idea what dragons are, no idea what meridians are. Did this class, holy fuck. I remember messaging Erin. I'm like, what is this? So like we took Holy Fire and like cranked it up. And then very short after that, 5 element Dragonfire Reiki was born. And 5 element Dragonfire Reiki is a blend of traditional Usui Reiki. It is a blend of Holy Fire 3. We don't really, it's in there. It is a lot of aspects are taken from it. It is Dragon Fire, and then the Chinese medicine, so traditional Chinese medicine, which is the meridian system, which are the energy highways of the body. So you have 5 elements, you have 5 element theory, you're working with the 5 elements, you're working with dragons and dragon fire, you're working with the meridian system plus traditional Usui Reiki. So it's like taking Reiki and then like turning it into a fucking torch, like a little, you can't see unless you're watching the video, like you have like a little match or you have like a blowtorch, and that's what 5 element Dragonfire Reiki is. So we're doing this thing and I'm like learning this, and she's like, hey, Carrie. And I'm like, hey, that's me. She's like, how would you feel about teaching this with me? And I'm like, what? Obviously, I mean, dragons. I fell in love. And a long story short, so now we co-teach together. We co-teach 5 element Dragonfire Reiki classes. And this is, I've had people with me throughout my entire journey. And I do, like, when I say I didn't practice Reiki in the beginning, I did on like 2 people because that's all I trusted. And there's been like 2 people who've been with me from the first time I ever did Reiki to now. And they have felt the energy shift from traditional to this 5 element Dragonfire Reiki. Not only did it like feeling the energy of 5-element Dragonfire Reiki change everything. I am not the same person I was. When you're using the meridian systems, when you are using energy, because when Reiki is universal life force. It is you can never overuse it. You can never give too much, but you're not draining yourself. A lot of people think that, oh, you're a Reiki practitioner, like you're giving me your energy. No, I'm not. I am just a conduit for healing. It's like they're showing me a light bulb. Like, okay, I am like a vacuum, we're gonna say. This is a horrible analogy. And there's a little plug. There's a little plug, and then I plug it into the wall. The wall is Reiki. Like the little outlet is Reiki. And I'm just like, we're using the energy. That's a horrible example, but that's what's coming to my mind right now. It is not coming from me. I am just the conduit for energy. I am holding the space and I am moving it from universal life force to you in a thing. I am not touched. I am not harmed. In fact, me doing Reiki on you actually heals me. And that is the thing I want to say. There's so many people out there who are like, I don't want to do Reiki on people, or I don't want to, be a teacher for Reiki. Cool. I didn't do it to be a teacher. I had no intention of being a teacher for Reiki. I learned it because I found something that helped me heal me. Reiki saved my life. Reiki is why I am who I am today. If that makes sense. Reiki is why I'm so confident. Reiki is why I stand up and I have a podcast. It is why I have, 20,000 followers on Instagram, if not more. I think it's more than that. This is why I am making more money than I ever have in my entire life, only working a couple hours a week. It is because of Reiki. It is because I use this amazing, incredible energy. I tap into it multiple times a day. It is how I move through the densest, heaviest, yuckiest, shittiest fucking times in my life. And how I make it through is because of Reiki. Reiki saved my life. And I use it every single day. I used it this morning during an energy pull to call in money. Guess what popped into my bank account? I had 2 people sign up for Reiki this morning. I haven't had somebody sign up for Reiki in a while. I used it the other day. I am going through a very, very, very intense death portal in my life, something that I've never experienced, and I haven't been sharing about it, and maybe someday I'll share about it. But this is hands down the hardest fucking death portal that I've ever gone through in my life. And the only way that I'm here today, smiling, doing this podcast is because of Reiki, because I have been loving on myself so hard. I've been doing self Reiki multiple times a day. I've been grounding multiple times a day. I've been calling in my dragons and the elements and all of the things to help move myself forward and heal myself. Reiki saved my life. And if you're sitting here wondering, well, I don't know if this is for me. If you are on a healing path, Reiki is for you. Maybe you don't want to learn it. Maybe you just want to receive it and feel that beautiful energy. Awesome. Reach out, book a session. It's a distance session. You can be anywhere in the world. It does not matter. And if the schedule and timing doesn't work for you, send me a message, because I guarantee you we can figure something out. And if you're like, you know what, I do want to learn this for myself, please reach out. We're actually teaching 5-element Dragonfire Reiki level 1 on May 6th and the 13th. That's live. So there's a live class. We also have instant access for levels 1, 2, 3 at any time. I will say this, with 5-element Dragonfire Reiki, there are actually 9 levels. So 1, 2, and 3 are like traditional Usui, traditional Reiki levels. It is blended with Dragonfire, and you get a little bit of the meridian, you get a little bit of the medicine. But it's like, these are the basic classes that you need. You do have very intense activations and installments during those classes. And that's where like those magical meditation, like deep seated healings come through. And then we teach you how to do it. And then the other levels, so levels 4 through 8 are fire, wood, water, air, and metal. Those are the different elements. That was not in order because my brain, I'm just thinking it's fire, metal, fire, fire, metal, water, air, wood. That's not right. Anyway, earth, there we go. Fire, earth, metal, water, air. Anyway, that's the thing. Sorry. I just got off a 2-week vacation, y'all. This is my first day back to work. So yes, there's beautiful, and then there's the teacher level. And each level you learn something new. And here's the thing too. Remember how at the beginning of this, I told you I had that Reiki practitioner and she didn't help me and she just kind of left me to the side and I had no idea what the fuck to do. And I was like sitting there in pain. Yeah, we don't do that. That's not something I do. If you have a Reiki session with me, you have access to me for like a full week after that. And you can always message me and I will help you. I did a Reiki this morning. I actually have another Reiki in 15 minutes. And I told her, I'm like, please message me and I'm going to message you all day to make sure you're okay. I'm also going to check in with you every single day this week. That is something as a practitioner, I am very, very strong about, because this is a very intense healing that you're going through. The same thing, with learning Reiki. When you're a part of Five on the Dragonfire Reiki, you just don't learn something and you're left to the side. First of all, we teach the classes live and they're very, very, very hands-on, very hands-on. We give you a lot of time and space to process through the emotions because a lot of stuff comes up. We give you a lot of information and you're a part of a community. You're a part of a beautiful face community, a band of incredible dragon sisters and men who are here to heal, and you are never left alone. If you have a question, you are there, and there are so many beautiful people in this community. I would not be the teacher I am today if it was not for this community, because the experiences and the moments and the classes and the students and everything that we happen at also, no two classes ever alike. We could not replicate a class even if we freaking wanted to. Yes, there is like information that we need, like standard information, but the things that happen and the conversations that come through during the special times that we teach them, because we teach the elements during the season they're present in, is incredible. I mean, we just taught our teacher level during the solar eclipse. Let me tell you the emotions and energies that came through for that. So when I say these classes are very powerful, when I say you have a community, when I say that you're going to heal yourself on a level you've never experienced before, even if you never want to teach it or never want to practice it on anything else, Reiki is for you. Because why wouldn't you want another beautiful healing modality on your belt that you can call upon when you're going through something, when your child is going through something, when your animal is going through something, when you need to clear your house or your husband's pissing you off or whatever it is, you have this tool, or to call in money. I love using Reiki to call in money. So I'm going to kind of end it at that. If you want to book a Reiki session, please reach out. Hands down, please reach out. I have 30-minute and 60-minute sessions. They're distance. You do not have to be in person. And if you want to learn Reiki, please send me a message, because we have the live classes May 6th and the 13th for level 1, and we have instant access for levels 1, 2, and 3 if you don't want to take them live anytime you want. Okay? Thank you for listening this far. I love you so very much. I am so grateful for every single one of you. And when I say I love you, I truly mean I fucking love you. You are worthy. You are loved. You are supported. You are needed. And I will see you next week. Bye. If you made it to the end of this episode, that means you are truly committed to your goals and open to miracles. I am so proud of you. If you want to get more Carrie, make sure you subscribe to this podcast so you never miss an episode. Your experience means a lot to me, so I welcome you to leave an honest review. And you can follow me on social media at Carrie Briggs Coaching. If you really want to get in on the action, sign up for my monthly membership, Unlock Yourself, or reach out for more powerful one-on-one work. I love you all so much. See you next time.